Namaste, namaste. Beacons of light, how wonderful to see you. Although I would rather it have been on a slightly more auspicious occasion. But thank you so much. I just want to go through a few names because there are many of you here. Little C, Janet, Robin, Juliet, Daniela, Ilona, Julie, Sabine, Graylin, Stacy, Fialka, Ellen, Francine, Caroline, Lexi, Imelda, Soul Punk. Okay, hi. I wonder who So Punk is. Emily, Dina, Mary, Linda, Gail, Vicky, Joan, Julie. And that's a lot of me. And then Namjas from New Mexico. Hello, New Mexico. Patriziana, all the way from California. So feels like you should be from Venice. Aurora, Alison, Nancy, Angela, Isabel, Sylvia, Trish, Francis, Veronique. Welcome, Stephen, Laura, Alex, Heather, Gian, Julia, Adriana, Teresa. Oh my goodness, so many people. I could go on and on. Mimi, Ukraine is fighting for freedom for all of us. Yes, absolutely. Stay strong, Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. Thanks, Doc. Yeah. I was talking, well, I could go on and on and on, and I think we'll spend most of my time saying hello to people. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for hearing my call and for taking your souls so seriously in intending this, brief 30-minute transmission where we can really bring ourselves together in this network of grace, in this communion of light. For our brothers and sisters, not just, of course, Ukraine, but also the Russian forces and anybody in Poland or Belarus or on the borders of Ukraine who are feeling the terrible reverberation within the soil, within the air, within the waters of this unbelievable conflict that is taking place. I use the word unbelievable. It is believable, but what is unbelievable about it is the challenge of the fact that the position of the Ukraine and the way that it was given back its freedom in the 1990s at the end of the USSR, the fact that one man wants to subjugate, oppress, violate, and cruelly destroy the sovereignty, the culture, and the wonder of these peoples. And so we come together for Meditation Ukraine. Our communion is to stir the love of our hearts and our souls through the fire of our courage and our passion. And having kindled that love, to express it here right now, for we are in the free world, and offer it to our brothers and sisters who are held in the captivity of terrible conflict, knowing full well that whatever their actions be, whatever their lives are at this time. I spoke with people yesterday through a contact of mine in Russia. I spoke through people in a bunker in Kiev and was really deeply moved by the stories that they were telling me of the valiance, the courage, the fortitude of their leader, President Zelensky, and all the other people that are surrounding him. But in the middle of our conversation, which was short because the internet communication was very wavering, there was an almighty smash of a shell landing not far from where they were, hidden underground in this bunker. And immediately 2 people vomited. You know, the level of fear that they're sustaining is having an immense effect on their bodies. And so the very fact that there they are pivoted, and by our counsel this evening, by our communion of light, we can bring them the offer of this balm, the balm of love. It's complex, isn't it? In the past decade, the global refugee population has more than doubled. And according to the UN, 82.4 million people around the world have been forced to flee their homes in the last 10 years. And among this group of women, children, and men are 26 million refugees, the highest record in the history of our planet. 68% of the world's refugees come from 7 countries: Nigeria, Eritrea, Somalia, Sudan, Afghanistan, Syria, and now Ukraine. The UN estimates that nearly 4 million Ukrainians will be forced to flee their home. 1.5 have already left. 1.5 have passed principally through the border with Poland. The darkness of this cause and for why these people have fled simply cannot continue. And as with Europe, as with the rest of the world, that we know that we are under threat from one man or for a nuclear holocaust. And so therefore we must drop deep within our hearts and souls and find the love that is hidden in the dust for these extraordinary people. The time has come to turn your heart into a temple of fire. Your essence is gold hidden in the dust. To reveal its splendor, we need to burn with the fire of love. This is Rumi. I'll repeat. The time has come to turn your heart into a temple of fire. Your essence is gold hidden in the dust. To reveal its splendor, you need to burn with the fire of love. Our love is the power of our compassion, of our empathy, of our courage, of our desire for peace. And so forthrightly, we must say, this must not come to pass. This war must cease now. The threat of a nuclear holocaust is almost beyond conception. But we must say, deep within our hearts, no more, no more, no more. And as we go through our meditation, and then a special prayer which I wrote, interestingly, I was meditating on what I could share with you today. Most of yesterday afternoon and evening, I'd worked with clients in the morning, and then I meditated. And I was trying to produce a prayer, and I asked if one could be revealed to me. And this morning when I woke and I opened my emails, there was this beautiful prayer which I've annotated for us, which I'll share with you in a moment. But just to put this into perspective, before we go into what can we be, what can we do about this, I just want us to listen to just a minute of an extraordinary, brave 19-year-old woman in Ukraine who was actually a student in the United Kingdom. She speaks extraordinary English. And you're here with an English accent. But her father and mother are Ukrainians. And as soon as this took place, she flew back to Ukraine to be with her father and to do whatever they could to help as many people as possible. So Ryan, if you could please play the video.
Risk is a relative thing, because the real risk to me is that my country disappears off the map. The real risk to me is that there's a genocide against my people that won't be stopped, and that the Ukrainian culture will be completely exterminated. Now, of course, I am terrified. And as I mentioned before, there's no place in Ukraine that's safe right now because there's a monster who is willing to bomb civilian buildings for no reason. But to me, that personal risk, that doesn't mean anything compared to the risk at hand. And I think every single person in their life, and I think you've really seen this with Ukrainian people as a whole, there are some things that define our lives, and there are some things that make our lives worth living and that give us reason to be here. And for us right now, that is our brotherhood and sisterhood, that is our unity, that is our love for freedom and democracy. And any price is, I'm willing to pay any price to protect that. And my safety is secondary to essentially protecting the things that make my life worth living.
Wow. I'm sorry about the frosted screen. For some reason, the British press have to, through copyright and so forth. But you'd hear her. And so in this moment, if I may ask of you, can you just feel how your heart is touched by the bravery, by the humility, by the courage? Oh, this just moves me so deeply that this dear girl should be placed in this situation alongside 44 million people. I mean, God, it moves me so deeply. That she is digging deep into herself with her father to help as many of her brothers and sisters as possible. And if it means the loss of her own life, she is willing to do that. The little that we can do is to offer her love in return. So let us just draw all of our amazing energies together, physically, emotionally, and mentally and spiritually, into alignment through meditation. And towards the end of the meditation, I'll share with you the prayer, and then we'll move into whatever our concluding sentiments can be. So if you can feel your spine absolutely aligned wherever you may be, if you're seated cross-legged on the floor, that's wonderful. If you happen to be lying down, if you wouldn't mind bringing your body into an aligned position, so you really feel the whole of your spine, which is your pranic cord, it's the principal neurological channel within our bodies. And feel the upper body balance, so you're not tense in the shoulders. Your heart center beautifully open. If you wish, bring the tip of your thumb and forefinger together and just let your hands sit. This is a sacred mudra which brings the sun and the moon together. The sun teaches us how to think and the moon teaches us how to feel. So they come together in union. If you wish, close your eyes and feel a beautiful silver white laser beam of light going through your spine. This is your pranic cord. And just see it going down through the base of your spine, through the floor where you're seated, into the floors of the building until you reach the basement. And as soon as you reach the basement, just go through the earth's crust and then through the soil and through clay and through stone and through rock into the very bedrock of Mother Earth, into the very womb of Mother Earth. who immediately will hold you. Do you see? It's her unconditional love. That we call gravity is Mother Earth's unconditional love, always holding us, always making us feel steady, always allowing us to feel her love secures and makes us safe. Ask her for a gift, ask her for a blessing, ask her for a sign, and then siphoning up through the rock and the stone and the clay and the soil and the earth's crust and through the basement of the building and then through the levels until you reach the floor where you are, through your body. And notice how that silver white light in your spine is bigger, broader, wider in its girth than it was before, as it goes all the way through your spine and then shooting off through the top of your head, through the building, through the atmosphere of the planet, off to the nearest planet to us, which is Venus, and anchor into Venus, Sister Venus, the goddess of love. So you're really refined by the feminine principle, the divine feminine principle of being overlit by planet Venus and underpinned by Mother Earth. Now we're going to breathe 3 times, wide and deep, breathing the breath light of pranayama into our bodies. And each time the pranic cord is going to broaden. So begin by letting the breath go. Feel empty. And when you're ready, breathe in and feel that the pranic cord is not just the girth of your spine, but broadening through your body, and then let the breath go. Move into emptiness. Feel the need to breathe and breathe in. And feel how the pranic cord now broadens beyond your body into 3 feet or a meter beyond your body. And then let the breath go. And once more, when you're ready, when you feel the need, breathe in. And as the breath light fills your body, feel it expand, feel the auric sheath expand into the room where you are positioned, and then let the breath go. And just pause, feeling the undulating ripples of your auric sheath, the auric field around your body, your aura, pulsing with this breath light, allowing you to feel the great purity of your being, the innocence of your being, the blessedness of your inner child, the purity of your intention of being here to fuel up our love to such an extent that we can share it through waves and waves and waves of powerful energy to these extraordinary people in Ukraine and elsewhere. And now we're going to chant. But as we chant, what I would love you to do is to feel how right in the center of your breast, the heart chakra, which is green, emerald green in color, begins to become magnified and broadens also through your auric field with the chant of the Om. We're going to chant it 3 times through the heart. And feel how the whole of your being has become part of this emerald green orb. The whole of the room is part of this emerald green orb, and the auric sheath that we expanded earlier is literally containing this beautiful emerald green orb. And as you feel this within your heart, remember the last time you engaged with the ultimate joy of your life, the greatest experience of pleasure, of delight, of wonder, of awe, of interconnectivity with that we prize as being the most special, the most divine, the most sacred, the most loving energy. And allow these feelings to literally be placed within the emerald green orb. And feel the orb pulse with your heart, with the love of your heart. Feel the orb ripple with the power of your breath. And notice how we are now surrounded by a divine heartbeat and a divine breath. How many beings of light are joining us in the sanctity of this moment. And so with this energy full, we're now going to chant again the Om 3 times. And as we do this, we're going to release this beautiful emerald green orb in the direction of the Ukraine. And don't worry if you can't determine the direction, because wherever it goes, it will go into the crystalline grid of the planet, the energy network of our planet, and so will be communicated directly to the beauty and the wonder and the courage of these extraordinary people. And if you need to, just see either the flag of Ukraine in your consciousness or the name Ukraine. And just pause as you are, please, just soaking in the stillness. And within the stillness, feeling how we all soak in soul, in the universal soul, that we are within soul. And on your behalf, beloved Heavenly Father, Mother God, beloved mighty angels of Atlantis, the cosmic force of the Christos, and Mother Mary, to all ascended beings of light, love, and truth, our hearts and souls call upon you for your assistance with a mighty voice at this peaked time upon planet Earth. We call with one united voice, saying, please, please cease all war, all terrorism, all chaos, all disintegration upon and within our beloved sacred planet. In every nation, please let there be peace. We pray to you, knowing that the earth and all her sentient life may now enter a golden age of harmony, of blessed communion, so that we may live lives of peace, of freedom, of co-creativity, of empathy, and of abundance. We call to Mother Earth that we may be one as a united voice, free, joyous, loving, and bathed in love and light for one and all. We call to all sacred beings of light to please transmute all karma, all stratagems, plots, or plans of terrorism and war, so that the wonder of the earth may live in total love, peace, and harmony. We wish with all our hearts and souls that all war and bloodshed cease immediately. And we invoke the mighty rays of peace and love within, which we pledge ourselves to be of like mind, caressed by the angels' wings of healing, anointed by your sacred love, so that earth may live within sacred restoration. Please blaze your light through. Blaze your love through. Transmute all acts of terrorism and plans of war now. No more, no more, no more. Please blaze your love through. Please purify all beings on earth, for we call peace, freedom, and love as our divine expression, for genuine sharing, for truthful communion. And may a golden age now begin, manifesting peace and joy for all sentient life. For we pledge, we wish, we intend to be all for one and one for all, living harmoniously. And now, to all heaven's sacred teachers, to the great angels of light, love, and truth, we pledge our heartfelt gratitude. We say to you, thank you. Please guide and protect us through the coming of time, so that we may live our lives in love, peace, and freedom's way. And so it is. Namaste, namaste, namaste. What we are about, you see, has huge resonance. We are that drop within the ocean, but the ocean is also what we are. And so I prepared, with my wonderful tech manager, Ryan, I prepared a visual slide for you. Few will have greatness to bend history, please, Ryan. And let me just read it for you. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each and every one of us can work to change a small portion, or indeed a large portion of events. It is from the numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man or a woman stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he or she sends forth ripples of hope which cross each other from a million different centers of energy and daring. And these ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. Martin Luther King said that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. I believe that the freedom fight, the freedom protest, President Zelensky has said, we are not in defense, we are in protection for the vital currency of our culture, our nationhood, our sovereignty, and our way of life. And so if you would like to donate money for the Ukraine Relief Fund, the easiest, you see on our screen, the easiest way to do this is through the Red Cross. This is the most bona fide, legitimate vehicle for your money. At the same time, I saw a really ingenious thing on Facebook today, stimulated by one of my dear friends. I don't know if Karen's in this evening. Um, and she was saying that she was actually renting an Airbnb in one of the Ukrainian cities, but then communicating to the landlord or landlady, you know, the owner of the Airbnb, that she wasn't actually going to turn up. So would she please use, would they please use the accommodation for people within the city who have lost their homes or who need safe refuge. So that may be something that you want to do. I know that that's something that I did this afternoon. I put down some money and paid for a month's worth of accommodation for a family in the Ukraine. So that's maybe something else that you want to do. We've come to a point of completion in our meditation. And again, from the bottom of my heart and the very depth of my soul, thank you for coming to join us. Don't forget that next Sunday evening will be enchantment, will be a 90-minute workshop where we chant magic into our lives through literal chant, through prayer, etc. This is May 13th. And we are all in preparation for a wonderful retreat, an online retreat for March 19th and 20th, which is called The New Human. Lost knowledge that has been given to me by ancient Atlantean wisdom that I'm going to bring forth, whereby we can again align ourselves with the slipstream of energy that has led us to the inspiration of these moments that we've shared together. Please do go to the website stewartpearce.com and you'll see the events page. And don't forget to click and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I say to you, namaste, namaste, namaste. And let's feel these ripples of miraculous love weaving their way through the ethers to the wonderment of that is taking place in the great sovereign state of the Ukraine. Thank you, Ryan.